Success to me is happiness, very much so. First and foremost, happiness, harmony, fulfillment, because there's got to be more. When I first started in this business, I thought success was money. Like as long as you were financially okay and you had money, you were fine. And then if you quickly start to learn that money is important, but what money does is it provides you resources, it provides you flexibility, it provides you choices. So that's where you want that financial success. And when I talk about that privilege of being into somebody's home and watching their lives and them from getting married to retiring and to passing away, and you start to see people who are very successful in retirement, those that aren't. And then you start to watch why. Like, why did this person love retirement? This person hated it. And a year later, they're passed away. And then you think that it's not just about finances, that's an important piece of it, but then you have to be physically okay, you have to be mentally okay, you have to be stimulated, you need to build that support system around you. um, all of those come in to build that definition of success. They Everything that we do now, it's got to be meaningful, it's got to be impactful. I think a lot about legacy and what are we leaving behind, and when you're in a position, uh, our position, I guess, for lack of better words, is that you are in such a position of influence and you could do so much good for other people. So just being able to see people succeed, other people succeed, I think that's so cool. Like and if you had a part of that, it's like, wow, that's certainly success. On a personal basis, I'd say being a mom, like watching these little people and they're growing up and they have an incredible sense of humor. And I had a huge, a successful moment last year. Is we took our both our children to one of our work conferences, and I watched them interact with my business colleagues, and I was so proud of them because there they are, and my colleagues were so good, and they came up right away. Oh my God, Irene, these are your kids, and they would introduce themselves, and they'd ask them about what their names were, and how they were doing, and my kids were right there, big smiles on their faces, shaking their hands, looking at them straight in the eye. They were so articulate, and like you could see the stunned look on some of the adults' faces, like, oh my God, these kids talk. And it was just, as a parent, Brian and I just kind of disappeared in the background, like they were just so engaged with my children, and just to watch them succeed, watch them to work hard. It's a big deal for me, and I would say, I shouldn't say more. Like, I want both my kids to succeed, but I think in our world it still might be a little bit more difficult for my daughter versus my son. And so when I see that, and I can see her, she has her own goals, and she works hard towards them. And then I keep thinking, well, we try to lead by example, and I want to be that role model, and I want to be that mentor. And I started all this thinking I was going to be super mom. I was going to be super mom. I was going to be the best mom in the world, and I was going to be the best business lady in the world. And oftentimes, what happens is you sacrifice a lot of yourself. Something's got to give, because you can't be all of that, all to everybody. So you oftentimes sacrifice yourself. So when you see your children and you watch them succeed, like I have to say, that's probably one of the biggest successes that I've seen. And I guess the other one would be my mom. My mom, like she was an immigrant lady from Portugal, came to a brand new country, didn't know the language, was brand newly married, and she built a life. She built a life for her family, and we've all done very, very well because of her. So I watch that. I watch her, and I watch all the strong women influences that I've had in my life, and I think, wow, and makes me very proud when I can say, hey, we've done it. We've accomplished that goal.